Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, joined, as always, by
Dario Classic.
special guest Dario Classic making an appearance, and we also have Goran Vesovic. What's up?
Don't get too excited, Dario.
He's slowly usurping the Monday Motivation.
Don't let him fool you, everybody. He was forced to be doing the Monday Motivation. He wasn't feeling very motivated, and I was like, listen, man, that's the prime reason why you need to do the Monday Motivation.
I don't believe the argument was that articulate.
It was close, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm here.
We played a couple of YouTube videos, a couple of Diddy videos, and he's in here. He's trying to knock it out.
Yeah, so the Diddy video that you're referencing, we'll throw a link into that in the description so you guys can check it out. But what's the point? Give us the summary here, Goran.
Well, it's a pet peeve of mine. I hate being the first one in the office and the last one out. But then I'm like, being an owner, I have a certain type of mentality that I have to be the first one in, last one out. But it's about that. It's about having that right mindset. I want people to want to be here, and if you want to be somewhere, you want to be there yesterday.
No doubt.
So the video that I referenced was basically Diddy back in the heyday of Bad Boy Records. Shout out Bad Boy. But he's a very successful businessman. I model a lot of stuff after him, and I find him inspirational. And he was just very irritated that on a Friday, nice day, afternoon, everybody wants to bug out of the office, and he's still there making deals, and things are, not going well, and he's wondering where his staff is. Why?
To put it lightly.
Yeah. Why is everyone that's, just not where he's at, they're taking a nonchalant approach and not very being dedicated or motivated to, put in the extra time that he's putting in, and then still on Monday bitching about how, their car payment, their rent payment, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Always, yeah. I know.
They wanna go to the Hamptons. They wanna drink their tea. They wanna eat their crumpets. Meanwhile, I'm walking down the street talking on my cell phone.
Yeah, well, we are fortunate. We do have some staff members who definitely have that type of attitude, who've kind of adopted that ownership mentality, and
Daniel Krakowski
and others.
Yes, well,
shout out to a few others.
Yeah,
here.
shout out to everybody that's not here on a Saturday. Right now, this is a Saturday, midday, nice day.
Carol Wallace.
Carol Wallace is here. We got a IT guy here trying to do some stuff, so we are prepared for the Monday. Dario is here. He's got his son Rocky with.
Check him out on Instagram.
Check out Rocky on Instagram. Yep.
So we're here. Sweating, might I add, because it's mighty hot in here.
Yeah. I didn't plan as well as Goran did. He's rocking the tank top right now. But it's a business tank.
It's the most Eastern European podcast right now.
You want else? Get you else. Real cheap.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, so what do you guys think? Because you guys have had a lot of employees over the course of the last 6-7 years.
6 years, yeah.
And, I know Dario in particular is bringing in independent contractors. They're probably coming in and out all the time, hopefully more in than out to get to where you are right now.
In my industry, we've struggled with that, getting the right guys in. And finally, right now, we've got a pretty decent team together, but we're always looking for more people.
Can you train that type of mentality to have that, or do they already need to be? Does someone need to be pretty close, and then you can just kind of help them with that last bit? Or?
So starting out, when we first started out, we thought that we could train in a sense of urgency, a person that's going to be working hard. We could train anybody to do anything, is what we thought. And then years down the line, what we find out is that, no, you can't train that. They have to have that within them, wanting more and not being satisfied with the current situation, and not being comfortable where they're at, and just kind of plugging each day as day by day. So I don't think that could be trained in. You either got it or you don't.
It's after reading a bunch of books, including Traction, listening to a lot of these motivational from zero to hero type books or biographies, everyone talks about accountability, responsibility, A, B, and C players, as far as employees go. And I believe, when we're born, are we all born as an A player, or are we born as a B player? And having, the mentality that Dario was talking about, we had to get up to the A level game, and we have to learn. So we're like, okay, if somebody's a C player, we should be able to get them up to an A level. But now, midway through our lives, or quarter, wherever we're at, we're figuring out that that's not the case.
Right.
Yeah, that's got to be tough, because you want to take everyone in and help them, and a lot of times you really like them as a person, but sometimes I read a study that they think that 50% of that which contributes to your political ideology has to do with your genetics. So
really?
Right. So if you look at it from an evolutionary standpoint, they're saying that there are people who it just makes sense, and there's a need in the community for people who are looking at taking care of others and, not really as aggressively predisposed. But you also needed people who were out there hunting, killing what they eat, etc. And you can just kind of see how that would kind of break apart into these two different political factions. So, there is always a component of the environmental cause of who we are, but there is some biological imperative too. So if you are an employer and you have some employees, it's not always bad to necessarily, realize that you're not going to always be able to fit that square peg in that circle.
I don't know. I think this is just, you have your opinion, I have my opinion. Neither of my parents are entrepreneurial one bit. We're far different people, me and my parents. And I would like to just say that I'm the byproduct of my environment. Mm-hmm. However, there is that trigger, especially when it comes to motivation, that could be like the can-do attitude. And again, equating it to my parents, where they may not be entrepreneurial, but they still had, I need to get things done. I need to get moving by any means necessary, especially when we first came to the United States. They did anything and everything. Losing was not an option. So that genetic trait may have transferred over to me, and I just applied it to the 100 times that I was let down or I encounter a problem. I was like, it's all right. You just got to keep moving forward until the solution presents itself. It doesn't matter if it's going to take 1,000,000 more times.
Right.
So it's to me, it seems like a combo of both things.
Oh, for sure.
But that's the biggest problem too, is people run into an issue and then they give up. The first no, they just give up and they look for somebody to guide them on what's next. And they just don't have that mentality to, one no doesn't mean it can't be done.
The no and the negative experience then manifests itself into doubt, and then doubt festers. And the worst thing you can do for yourself is to have that doubt. Now that it's kind of like when you were on a bike, when you were learning how to ride a bike, you fell down, but then you got back up again. And that trait kind of disappears for most people, because when they end up falling down, they very rarely do they get back up and keep going. Let's say you start 5 businesses, they all fail. Doesn't mean the 6th one is not going to be a success. Right. But most people are not going to get to that 6th one because they're going to say, hey, it's just not for me.
Yeah. And what's really fun is in the entrepreneurial world, when you do get a no from someone else who's kind of in that business. For example, like if I were coming to Goran and I'm like, Goran, I want a job, and he doesn't know me and he says no, if I keep coming back to Goran and I have a new value proposition and I'm trying to get a hold of him in creative ways, he's going to start to like it. I'm going to get a few opportunities, which is exactly how we're going to get on Grant Cardone's podcast. We got a no yesterday. We're calling every week until we're on that thing. So
bam, I love it. I'm glad you guys actually took the initiative.
But you said the magic word, bring value.
Absolutely.
And that's what a lot of people are not doing. They just feel like they should be in a certain position, or they should have this, or they should get paid that, but they're not bringing the value, and that's the problem.
Yeah, you can't just say, "Is my paycheck ready? Is my paycheck ready?" and then expect that 1,000 times your paycheck will be ready. It's about making those adjustments, and again, that's becoming. On your way to becoming an A player is getting that no, but learning from the no, making the adjustment to where, hey, maybe this is going to produce a yes.
Right.
That you're not asking the same question. The quote as far as about repetition, doing the same thing over and over.
Oh, the
definition of insanity.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't be insane, people.
No, got a lot of insane people, that's for sure.
Right. And that's what's so fun to me about being an entrepreneur and doing real estate in general is there's so many different angles to look at an opportunity. And I mean, how many things do we turn into deals that have been passed over by other people because they didn't see the value? And we were able to say, well, what if we just take this and sell it to this person on a contract for deed, but we add some value and we'll write that into the contract that will do some type of,
All the time. You have to do that. There is no other choice. You have to.
Especially in this market, you have to get creative because there's a lot of people have money and they're buying properties, so there's a lot of competition out there. And if you're not creative, then you're just not going to be able to find any deals.
No question.
You have to be able to turn, lemonade from lemons, and not everyone makes the best lemonade, right? You've all guys have had different flavors of lemonade. I think the skill is going to be how well you turn that lemon into lemonade and how good it tastes. And it's really going to be, that's the value proposition to me is, okay, great, you can make something work, but what else can you do? Is it better? And that's when we come in as far as real estate goes, we try to look at it a whole bunch of different angles and make that deal work that, I don't know, not a lot of people would think about.
Right. And the reason Goran brought that up in general is we're announcing coming up in 2018 our new product of VSM Aid. It's going to be sold in stores all over the country. Make sure you keep your eyes out for that.
Sponsored by Celsius.
Yeah, sponsored by Celsius.
Yeah, it's a Celsius plus real estate drink. It may be chunky.
What's really nice, though, is, in a market like this where there's opportunities for, I've been flipping houses for 6 months, maybe, something like that. And I'm speaking with people who have been in the industry for a long, long time. They're able to find less deals than we are. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of fun to know that, you're able to get in there, make something happen. And
you get stuck making one type of lemonade.
Right.
You have to be innovative, and especially in the real estate market. Just 5 months ago, we were all about buying and holding, and now we're all about buying and flipping.
Right.
And selling the stuff that we're holding.
Yeah.
I just sit around and listen intently when people tell about stories of, we purchased this house off the MLS and we're able to flip it for a profit. I'm just like, wow. Right. Can you imagine a world where it could be that easy?
Right.
I wish.
Yeah, and it used to be like that, but It's no longer the case.
Yeah, but hopefully if we wait, it'll come back around and we'll have to come up with our new raspberry infused lemonade style for that exact market.
Right. So again, going back to what we initially discussed, we were talking about, I think, again, boils on back to talent and people taking ownership themselves to make themselves better. We as, for example, leaders, and let's say we have C players and we want so hard and we give them all of the opportunities, all of the resources to make them A players. None of that is going to matter unless they actually, do something themselves or want to be an A player.
Yeah. And it's everyone's going to be different about what inspires them, because I think I probably would have been a B player at VSM. But for some reason, just like a perfect scenario happened where I came in at the right time. And I don't know if you guys remember the first conversation that I had with both of you, where I met with Ryan, we hit it off well, and I came in and I'm like, just went up and I'm like, I know you've had some bad experiences in the past, but I'm here to do this, like gave you my whole speech. That. And they were both just kind of like, all right, we'll see. And then I'm like, I'm going to show these two. Like, I'm going to show them.
And
what's
I
up.
think that,
but that started my momentum,
Right, and that was key. And from my perspective, I wasn't just like, oh, who are you? What can you do? You're nothing type of mentality. I was just like, okay, well, there's nothing I could say or do at that point to get you to that next level. You're going to have to do it yourself. So.
Plus, we've also been disappointed numerous times with people coming in and saying that they're going to do certain things and bring certain things, but it's all talk. They always find excuses as to why they couldn't do what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, the whole, hey, watch me, I'm going to do this. Yeah. And it was funny how when I was at the Tony Robbins, there was numerous people that have said that, and Tony Robbins just shut them down. It's like, hey man, don't be telling me what you're going to do. Right. Just go ahead and do it, and then say, look what I did. or if they told him, like, oh man, you just watch for me. I'm gonna be just like you. And he was like, oh great. So you basically 10 years from now are gonna be where I was 10 years ago.
Right.
So you're still gonna be behind.
Right.
So,
right.
Like I said, he's a very powerful motivational guy, but he shuts a lot of those boilerplate, yes, you just watch me, I'll be the this, the that, without that action, people actually saying, hey, or actually doing, not saying, and producing that result. And that's what gets that attention. That's what people will notice.
Yeah, I think Henry Ford has a famous quote about that. Like, no one's ever built a reputation on things that they're going to do, something like that. And when you're looking at Grant Cardone's thing of staying broke, I think the problem that a lot of people get into, and people that we know, will not name their names, but their millionaire mindset, I've already gotten it, I've already made it. And it's like, no, it's the opposite. Once you're that millionaire and you're in that millionaire mindset, you're still going back and acting like you're broke, and you're not too proud to do anything,
Treat everything like it's your first deal. Well,
again, I think that millionaire mindset, and to cite, we talked about Diddy, we talked about Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins. On a surface level, a lot of people would say, oh, they're just driven by money, but that's not the case. If you dive deeper into what the content, the things they're producing, even myself, the motivation is not the money. That's just the byproduct. That true passion, the need to want to do better than you did yesterday is what really drives them, and what it basically their results are.
I think in the beginning, the motivation for most people is the money. And then once you start getting into it and you do get the money, it doesn't become about money anymore. It's the passion, what you're passionate about. Well, you find something that you love, you just want to continue doing it regardless of the money. Well,
again, you didn't get into construction because you hated construction, but you love the money. And I didn't get into real estate because I hated real estate, but I love the money of it.
Right.
It just I want to make money within something that I'm passionate and I love, and I want to just talk all about it. I want to be all about it. That's who I want to be.
I just love the game of it all. Yeah. I mean, realistically, I'm not obviously Bill Gates or anything, but I have more money than I need right now. If I was just making the paycheck that I get doing transactional work, buying a house, I would never be able to spend the amount of money that I have. Realistically, I'm very simple, as you know. But I like it just because it's more capital to be able to put back into other, and you can keep playing the game.
It's the game. The lack of money or you wanting more money didn't bring you to the office on a Saturday. It was something bigger.
Yeah, and realistically, it's just, let's see where we can get the scoreboard, and then at the end of the day, I'll probably get to a point where I'll be sick of it, and then I can spread it out, do whatever I want with it, right?
But then you'll find something else that you're passionate about at that time of your life.
Probably.
I see it. Things go in life, it's kind of like 5 to 6 year increments. Mm-hmm. You have the same routine, then you switch it up, then you change it, then you adjust something, you start being passionate about something else maybe. So, yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, cool. Thanks for being here, Dario.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you guys next week.